Right, so we're going to have a look at an FK OK switchable arm. So what I've done is the same setup as before. I've just partially rigged this bit so we can see how bits follow. So I've just unparented this chain for a second. So I'm going to shift P for all the fingers, and I've shifted P. That just to break that parent, because we're going to need 3 of these. So we've got a skeleton chain, which is here, which is shoulder, elbow, wrist. And I'm going to go Control D and W and move those back. And this new chain here, so go Control Shift, I'll open that thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that. Actually, I'll go to the other end and go FK. And then this one will be FK. It's worth naming these up because we're going to do a little bit more complicated setup with this, and so being able to find which one's which is a really good idea. So I'm going to get those. I'm going to go Control D for duplicate. Make another chain here, and go Control Shift. And these are going to be IKs. IK left shoulder, IK left elbow, and IK left wrist. Okay. So we've got some bits and pieces here. So we'll need an IK controller, we need some finger controllers, and we're going to need some FK controllers. So I've built an FK shoulder control there, which I can go V and snap it to that guy. I can Control D, make another one, snap it to there, and D, make another one, and snap it there. Lovely. So this guy becomes left elbow, not one. This one becomes left wrist. There we go. So we've got those bits and pieces. So I'm just going to, they want to be eventually over here. So I'm going to go V, I'm going to snap them onto that joint. Let's hide out these guys. Let's make sure that we're snapping into the right place. Right, so he zeroed out that position, that's lovely. Move that one and snap it onto that joint and go freeze transforms. Alright, so that's because I've locked and hidden some of them, so I'll go freeze translates, there we go. And this guy over here, V, snap it to another joint. So that one can go freeze translates, woohoo! Cool. And now I'm going to snap them back to the joint chain we're going to be controlling. Okay. Right, so these make up a parent hierarchy. So this guy follows that guy, which is P, and this guy follows that guy, which is P. This guy is constrained to that, so we'll go the other way. So we'll go constrain, parent, open dialog box, maintain offset. So it's that, shift select that, apply, and then it's that, shift select that, and it's apply, and then it's select that, and shift select, and Q, shift select that guy, go apply. Right. So those are parent constraints. So now if I go E, whole arm goes So there you go. So we've got an FK arm set up there. This guy must be an IK arm. So I just go Control D, duplicate this guy. W over here. I think I'm going here. Go F. No. Show. Isolate, select, view selected, and show nerd CV. So I'm going to alter this guy just so he's distinctive. Come on, control better. And I get those two and those two, and I go R. And a little bit more square-like. Something like that. Will that do? I think that'll do, won't it? Okay. Object mode. Show D. Isolate, select. Oh. And so we've got this guy. So now this guy, we can go W, B, snap him onto there. And actually, I suppose if we snap it because we zeroed that out, so translate, freeze, translate, there we go. Going to W, B, and snap him onto here. Right, and so rigging, IK chain, shoulder, wrist joint. Lovely. That IK handle's huge on display. Herbs, animating, rendering. Oh, is it under display? What if I? Oh, it's around here somewhere. You can change the size of IK handles. Object display. Transform display. IK handle size. There we go. It was around somewhere. 0.3. There you go. It's a bit better. Okay, so we've got a kind of more manageable size IK handle there. Right. So this gets parented to that. So now if I get that, then that IK works. So, and we can constrain it. That's directly behind us. Snap that to the elbow and pushed it backwards. So we've only been moving in that X plane. We could actually do that now. So we can go U, shift select U, constrain, pole vector. There we go. So now we can alter the angle of that chain like that. There. Lovely. Another thing we need to do is constrain that joint orientation to this guy. So I'm going to select that guy, go Q, shift select this guy, go constrain, orient, maintain offset, apply, close. So that means now go E. We can alter that joint by rotating that joint. Brilliant, lovely. Right, so now we can join things back up again. So this guy, Q, just like that, and go B, so that bottom guy gets joined back in again. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Shift select that, go P, and that joins the hands back up again. Right, okay, so we've got some other little bits and pieces we'll need. We need the finger joints, finger controllers to follow the wrist joint. But what we're going to be doing is switching the visibility on these things. If we parent that back to anything that's in that hierarchy, the finger joints will disappear as the hierarchy gets hidden and displayed. So we need to not have them in the same hierarchy as the controllers. Therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go create locator, which is just a point in space, that guy there. W. And I am going to snap him to the little joint there. I wonder if I can change the display size locate as well. Display, animating, joint size. Okay, change them, joint labels. Object display. Oh, it doesn't matter. He's huge, isn't he? Right. So what I need to do is he gets parented to that joint P, and then and ZD doesn't. What am I talking about? What he gets is he gets point constrained. No, he doesn't. He gets parent constrained. What am I doing? Constrain. So there, selected the object to be constrained to that. Constrain. Parent. Maintain offset. Apply. And that just means that now wherever that joint goes, he will go with it, and we can then parent these things back to him. But so because that's constrained, it's not part of the hierarchy, so that works. That's a good solution. Right. So these joints are controlled by the IK chain, which is now controlled by the IK controller. These joints are controlled by the FK controllers. Having multiple things selected isn't good. Oh, that is parented. So Shift P. Is that because I cloned it? I think probably when I duplicated it, it stayed within the hierarchy. There we go. So that one does that. This one does. So they are now independent. Lovely. With noting, you can screw that up. Oop. Okay. So these joints down here, these ones, are orientation constrained to these two. So that one, which is that says IK left shoulder. Oh, that's right, it is IK left shoulder. Shift that one, which is FK left shoulder. Shift that one, which is that right. And that's the actual shoulder. So we're going to go constrain, orient, maintain offset, apply. Okay, so I've got FK up, no, IK FK, so I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, IK, shift FK, shift the actual joint, and go apply, and then I'm going to go IK. Oh, that's the controller. IK joint, FK joint, actual skeleton joint, maintain offset, apply. Right, so now these joints in the middle will be constrained to an IK and an FK. That's why I labelled them, because these things show up in here so you can see which one's which is always handy. So what happens now, you'll see, is if I move this around, that this joint chain does 50% that and 50% that, including, you'll note, the wrist thing there, because if I go and rotate that one, do that one. So we have this joint thing there is following both of these two joint things. So what we need to do now is switch between them. And so what we're going to need is we're going to need a controller that we can use set driven key. So I'm going to go to the shoulder. So that means the shoulder control there, which works with at the moment, will have an attribute that will switch between FK and IK. So let's do that. So another way of doing it is come here, we can go add attribute. I only found out just recently that you can add them there. And so this is going to be FK IK. Okay, it's going to be a float, so you can drift between the two, but it really only means 0 to 1. If you want a more gentle float, if you want it to sort of like be able to drift between the two, you could make that 10 and then make it an easier scroll maybe. But you know, normally you either want it one or the other. So 0 to 1 should be okay. So default is 0, so the default will be FK. Add. There you go. Close. So we've now got an FK IK switch, which goes from 0 to 1 back again. But it doesn't at the moment because we've not set it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to use set driven key. And we're going to need these, so we can find these. They're in here. If I go to Control Shift, here we go. So left clavicle, we don't want that guy. Left shoulder, right? Is it the orientation controls? No, orientation. Left shoulder. Left shoulder. Left shoulder orientation. So that's the orientation constraint on that left shoulder, and you can see it comes up in the channel box that it's got IK and FK there. So we'll be able to work out which one's which. So we're going to go animation key, set driven key, set. It's always off screen when it comes. So right. So we've got the shoulder. We're going to set the shoulder up first. Left shoulder orient constraint. Okay, so that's that guy's orientation constraint. And I'm going to get this and go load driver FKIK. Right. So at the moment FKIK is 0. So if I'm going to go 0 is FK. What we want to do is we're going to go to the left shoulder there. And so that means we're on FK only, so that becomes 0. So we go, oh, we need to get these two. Go, key. Right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that. And we're going to go FK, IK, and we're going to move to 1. So let's just type in 1, might be easier. And so that's now on IK, and so what we'll need to do is go back to the left shoulder orientation constraint, switch them over, so that becomes 1, so we're on IK, and that becomes 0. And so we go key. So now, although the bottom ones will still be blended, if I move this, what are we set to? So we're on IK, so now that shoulder should follow this entirely and not be drawn back by the other one. So these ones blend still, whereas that one is fully on IK. And if I go over here and I go switch, it will switch back to the other guy. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll get this guy and we will. Wonder if we 0 him, he's going to go there. Okay, that'll do. 0 him out later. Right, okay, so FKIK wants to remain the same, so this guy goes on to 0, so we're set to FK. So what we need to do now is get this guy, and so he's going to go left elbow orientation constraint. So get him load driven. Left elbow orientation constraint, those two. So that's what we're going to key. And what we're going to do is check this guy. This guy is set at FK, elbow constraint. So we want to be an FK, which means we 0 that one out and we key it. And we get this, move it over to IK. By typing 1 in would be easier. So we're on IK. And then we'll get the elbow orientation constraint, and we switch them over. So IK becomes 1, FK becomes 0, and we go keep. And we just got to do that again. We go wrist orientation constraint, load driven, left wrist, and so this wants to be on 0, so we set it to FK, the wrist orientation constraint. So we're on FK, so this goes to 0, go key, and then we get this guy and we set it to 1, so that's IK, and at IK, FK, IK, that's the wrist constraint, IK becomes 1, and this becomes 0. Key, close. So at the moment, that says that we're on IK, so we're fully following IK. We go to here, and we can snap back to FK, IK, FK, IK. Okay. Zero those out. Right. Okay, so if we come to FK, we're on FK. So if we do this, you can get that hand following, but not finger controls. So the finger controls, we need some of them. So I've got control index. If I zero him out, he's there. So I can go control D, do that, hold V, snap that over to there. Might want to rotate its axis down the finger, that would be good. D, thank you. D, axis down the finger, nice. Oh, that's not fixed it at all. Never mind. D. Control duplicate, move it, V, snap it on, Control D, move it, V, snap it, okay, and then done, Control D, move that one, V, snap it to that one. So these become orientation constraints for those fingers. To go over there a bit. Okay, cool. Right, so that is thumb, V, that's it, index control, that is middle, ring, come on, pinky, because there's always got to be one that's called pinky. That's not what I meant to do. Right, hang on. So I'm going to freeze them. It would make sense to get the orientations on these right. I'll show you how to do that at another time. But for now, those will do in the world. Freeze. Freeze. Okay, so all we get now is these want to animate in parent space. So really, this guy's parented in to that joint there. Is he parented to that joint? So if I select that joint, no, he's not. So this guy, oh no, he's constrained, isn't he? I'm getting confused. He's constrained to that joint. So that thing there, if we get hold of that locator, we will find that there is a parent constraint, which is exactly what we want. So this guy, go to Q, shift that guy, 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 P. Right, okay, so now if I rotate EFK control, finger controls go with it. Okay, cool. So all we would do with these is set up a custom attribute for finger roll. I thought we zeroed this because we did. We'd go, this guy would be orientation constrained to that, and then there'd be a finger kill control to control that joint and that joint, and that will give you that posing. That was in that other tutorial, so I'm not going to set up the finger skin in this. Right, so we've got another thing to set up here. So this guy, and this guy. I'm going to go back to key, set driven key. Insert key, no, set driven key, set. So these controllers, we've lost, I took out visibility. It's a shame, isn't it? Here we go. Window, general editors, general editors, channel control, there we go. Learning all new stuff in this channel control, because I've locked and hidden some channels. What I need in this to set this up, if nothing else, is, there's visibility. Move there, cool. Okay, and that's locked at the moment, but I can break that connection. Cool, so we're going to have to do that to all of these. I forgot I'd done that. Oh, we've got visibility back on all of them actually. Yay, that's good, cool. So we can do visibility on those. So that one doesn't have visibility on that, so let's go visibility. Move, cool. That one we need a bit of visibility as well, because we can hide them as soon as we've actually set the rigging. So we need to change the visibility of that, and that, and that. These want to stay visible all the time. That's why we put in that locator. Cool, nice. Close, so we can do that. So we'll do U. We've got all that load driven. Okay, no, shift, load driven. These guys. Oh, it's because visibility is still locked. Oh, Andy. Break connections. Oh, no, because they're not connected. They'll just unlock selected. There we go. Are they all unlocked? Yay, they're all unlocked. But not this guy. Visibility. Unlock select. So what you get for locking and hiding things? Always problematic. T. Right, okay. So we'll go back into set driven key again. Then. So U, shift U, shift U, key, set driven key, set U3, driven, visibility. We finally got it. There we go. This guy, load driver, FK, IK. Right, currently it's set to FK. So, what we want to do is have that go key, and then we get this guy, and this guy, and we set that to off, and there we go, key. So When we do that, boop, we shift that to there. Do we not get those back? Hang on. Okay, IK 1. Okay, 0. Okay, that's at 0. Let's go back to selecting them. We've got to find them now. Yeah, sorry, they're here because they're grayed out. So we go there. So visibility is off. Visibility should be on. Key. Hang on then. Let's just see that. No problem with switching FK. Visibility, FK, IK. Left shoulder control. Okay, so key. So if we go over to IK, they should be off now. So visibility. Key. Right. There we go. There you go. Oops. I didn't mean to rotate them. 0. Nice. Let's try that again then. Okay, they're off. I'll just type it 0. Okay, cool. So we've got that. So what we need to do now is this guy, load driven, visibility. When we're there, FK, okay, so this is at 0, so that's at FK. So that should be off. Key. And then when we go to FK, okay, so I think you disappear, you can't select it anymore. IK goes on, so we now should be able to get the IK controller. And now I've got to find it. Left FK rest. And it will be disappeared because it's not actually part of any of the hierarchies at the moment, is it? Left FK wrist control, that's the one over there. So we should have left IK wrist joint. Actually, when you lose them because you've turned the visibility off, you can actually just click on that and that'll reselect it. So that visibility should be on. I guess. Am I not doing that right? On, there we go. Key. There you go. So let's just check that again. FK, okay, 1. So if that is 0, yay, FK, 1. IK control, yeah, that's good. So the other thing we've got to do is that one though. So load driven. And we've got a locked visibility. So I'm going to go unlock selected, load driven, visibility. So what we're on at the moment, we're on IK at the moment because we've got that one on. So I'm going to go key, and then I'm going to drive that back to FK, do that, and then elbow target visibility is off. Key. So now as we switch between FK and IK, the controllers appear and disappear, which is lovely. Cool. Sort of. So this guy, I'm going W, B, W. This guy, and close that. There we go. B, snap him to there. Everything else follows. He gets parented to that. B. So that means if I now rotate the clavicle joint, the FKs go with it. I'll go over to IK. Nope. This joint here, I'm going to snap in place. So W, V, I'm going to snap it onto the shoulder joint there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this joint and then that joint, because I want to constrain it. I'm going to constrain, point constrain. So that's maintain offset, apply, close, and this guy be snapped onto that joint there. Okay, so now we're on IK. So we've got IK hand. Ooh. Yeah, so that's your FK joint chain behind there. Let's do that. So we've got our IK, so we've got full control of the wrist and all that kind of malarkey, and we can do the fingers as well on those finger controls. And then when we go to here, we go FK, and we switch it back to 0, and we get FK, and we get FK elbows, and we get FK hand. There you go, and that's the IK chain right there. So that. So we can kind of go, if we want to, we can get our chains. So I'll find them down here. Spine controls, head control, I don't want that. So FK shoulder, IK shoulder, IK left wrist. Those ones. So they're the joints. So we can go, I can do layer, click on it, and they want to be something like utility joints. Utility joints. Because we can hide them. And we want the FK shoulder joints, these ones. And then add selected objects. Cool. So really you don't get to see those joints. We just hide them over there, and we can make them unselectable and do that with them as well. And so we don't see them. So whatever we're in FK, we just get our FK arms and wrists, all that kind of thing. So. Okay. And then as soon as we switch to IK, then we get to see the IK controllers and the IK wrist constraints and things like that. And this guy works and everything. So the IK chain works as per. You can see. Although that control is not parented into anything, but you can probably parent them down to the. Normally, I'd parent them down to the top control. There you go. Yeah, that's because I'm not translating. Yeah, I just remembered that I'd not fixed the 0 location of the wrist, so now that works. That works fine. So we can go back to 0 on that if we need to. And then things like the visibility here, if we don't want to see it, let's just 0 that back in. 0. Yeah, the visibility on these things, if we don't want to see it as an option, then we can just select it and go hide selected, and we do that on anything. that's being controlled by that switch. So go back to here, put that back to 0, and then these guys, if you want to, you can get that on, shift that one, shift that one, and go visibility, right selected. And actually, this guy, which is the locator, which is the you know, go left, finger control locator, that can go add selected objects. So I mean, I wonder whether or not, rather than call that utility joints, you can just call it utilities, because there we go. And then with this one here, E, we actually only want that. So and we don't want it translates. So quite literally, that one you could go take that, control that one, and you could go lock and hide everything else. Lock and hide selected, and so you've only got that one. You've only got the elbow rotate. I mean, you could actually put a limit on it. So if I go 0, then that's its standard. You can actually go attribute editor, limit information. So those other ones are locked. You can rotate. Minus what you do, rotate limit of, you know, minus 10 or minus 5, something like that. Current should be 0. Yeah. I suppose a rotate limit of whatever. Well, I'm limiting it backwards. Oh, so rotate limit. What is that then? That goes up. So rotate limit of minus 10 to 90. Is that it? Or is that backwards? Yeah, that's backwards. So actually you want to go minus 90 to 10, and so that would give you a limit of that, and then back, so you've got some hyperextension backwards, and that would stop animators messing it up, and then you can always zero it back out again. So you can put some limits in there. I mean, this guy doesn't need to translate, so you can lock and hide the translates. Boom. Lock and hide selected. This guy's orientation only. Oh, you know what? Look, now I've hidden that locator. It hid the finger controls as well. That is that problem. Yeah. Okay, so anything that's down hierarchy is going to get hidden as well. So that utility, that kind of. So if I go, I need to take it out that layer. Membership. Utility joints. Okay. Take that out. Edit. Delete highlight. Remove highlight from display layer. There we go. Cool. So that's no longer in there, but I suppose the thing is, if it's down there, even if I go display hide selection, yeah, it takes out the finger joints as well. what we want to do is just make it smaller, I think. Show last hidden. There we go. All right, so I'll work on making this guy smaller. Apart from that, it's a fully functional IK FK switchable arm rig. Look at that. And oddly enough, it stays in with everything else. That's that FK joint. No, that's the IK joint chain. Never mind. Well, there he is. Anyway, it works. Well done. Give it a go. I have to do it again on the other side as well, though. But it functions, so that's what we're after. Good luck with that. And, yeah, give it a go.